So
I love that. I love that.
this will be a little trip down memory lane for us because when I revisited it, admittedly there was a few I had to leave off this list. It wasn't as easy as I thought. Top 2 were easy. The other ones, finding places to put them, were a little bit tough. So I figured, all right, let me think about this. So we're going to do our top 5 comedians that we wish were still with us. So you guys in the chat, anybody after the fact, let us know your top 5. So if you want, I'll go first. My number 5 speaks for itself. Tommy Boy himself, Chris Farley.
Aye, yeah.
I mean, Chris Farley was on a trajectory to become he was amazing. I mean, Tommy Boy, Black Sheep. I mean, come on. Great movies, and we just lost out on all that stuff that he could have done.
Living in a van down by the river, Chippendales. I mean,
the Chippendales with Chippendales with Swayze was
Swayze,
iconic.
baby. I mean, you got Coneheads. Sorry, Mr. Conehead. I mean,
I love when the girl eats the whole hero. My mom's the only person I've ever seen eating a sandwich like that.
She's like,
the whole sandwich.
Like, I mean, dude, Farley, man, it's never ending with that guy. Was it Beverly Hills Ninja?
Beverly Hills Ninja, yeah.
Oh my god. Everybody was a kung fu fighting, all that shit. Oh my god.
I think I told you guys. So my son is in college. He's taking. He's going to be a history professor.
My son,
European history. Joe, I apologize. I stand corrected. Joe's son. I just get stuck with the tab. Joe's son is studying European history, and one of his electives, because he had an elective this year. So the elective he took was it was like God, I don't know what the class was about. It's like something to do with like movies. And he said, "Dad, you never guess what I'm doing a report on and what we're studying this week." I go, "What?" He goes, "Tommy Boy." I go, "Get the fuck out of here." I'm like, can I come to class with you? And
that's amazing.
He had never seen it, so he watched it. He calls me up. He's like, "Dad, holy shit, that movie was hysterical."
It's one of those remote drops. Remote drop. Tommy Boy, the best. Holy shnikes. I mean, but look at Blake. I knew that, Blake. That's amazing. Yes. And I love Cable Guy.
He was also he was supposed to be the voice of Shrek. Exactly.
Yes, he was. I love Cable Guy. I love Cable Guy. It's amazing.
So my number 5, the late great Chris Farley. What do you got, Joe?
Golly, man.
And you guys in the chat, let us know. Throw some out there. I'll read them.
Yeah, I prefaced my list on the fact that it was hard to narrow it down to 5 people. And this isn't definitive, but it's just, golly, there was so many people that are gone that are really missed. But number 5, it was a little, a back and forth between me and my lovely co-host of Moody's Mind. We went with Mr. Bob Saget, the recently deceased Mr. Bob Saget.
Wow.
Danny Tanner.
I forgot about him, and for no other reason that it still boggles my mind that he's dead.
He's gone. Yeah. I mean, he was America's
I don't even think of that he's dead. Yeah.
He was America's dad, Full House, Danny Tanner. Like, I love the fact that there's that difference between his image from Full House and the fact that when he was an actual comedian,
it was raunchy.
He was a dirty bastard.
He's dirty as fuck, man. Go look. Everybody's never seen his stand-up. Go on YouTube and look it up, man. That guy was rough.
I enjoyed his stand-up because he gave you something that you weren't expecting. He fucking totally caught you off guard, and he was raunchy. He was dirty. He was insightful, and you could see that from him, that he had this image of being this father figure for many. And you could tell where, this was actually him being himself. So because of that and everything else, you ever seen Half Baked with Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
And he does that little cameo. He's like, you ever suck? I'm not going to say it. I can't say it online. When he's in the meeting, the meeting, and he's like, hey, man, you want to know what addiction is? You ever sucks, for this? And that's one of the best scenes. And this is all just off the top of my head. Bob Saget, rest in peace, my friend. Wish you were here.
Oh God. I grew up with him because I gotta remember, Full House was when I was in high school. So I used to watch a lot of TV. So I watched it, not religiously, but I watched it. But I watched it more when he was the original host of America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah. A of V. Yes.
I remember watching that more than Full House because I used to like to watch the videos, and he was the host, and he always had. And the funny thing is, if you watch it, he always had those deadpan, like cheesy jokes, but the look on his face was perfect because he knew he was telling you a bad joke. He was like,
yes,
but
that's the original. He's the OG.
he's like, it's a fucking paycheck, guys.
Yeah, he's the original. Yes. Yes.
There's some in the chat here. So yeah, Stephen's saying, of course, Chris Farley. This one's on my list. Robin Williams.
I get no respect here. I get no respect.
This one was this. I still remember that day when I heard that.
Okay.
Sam Kinison died.
Dude, he is amazing. I love Sam.
Fat guy in a little coat. And this one was another shocker too that came out of left field when Norm Macdonald died. Yeah,
legend.
And Gilbert Gottfried, Phil Hartman. What a heartbreaking story, man. Him is just wife fucking shooting him and killing him, man. Oh,
MB wanted Gilbert Gottfried on this list. He didn't make the list.
Yeah, he didn't make my list either. But we're gonna go over the people that didn't make the list.
Yes,
because that's what's tough. I've said this a million times. Top fives are tough because you leave a lot on the table. So we'll go through our top five, and then we're going to keep going into the chat. So my number 4 is somebody that I grew up with because I'm a little bit older than you guys. I loved his movies, and I remember sneaking to try to listen to his stand-up because it was so freaking raunchy because my parents didn't want me to listen to it. But number 4, the iconic Richard Pryor.
Oh, man. Hey, motherfucker.
Because when I was a kid, Richard Pryor was the shit when I was a kid. Before Eddie Murphy, he was the shit, Richard Pryor.
He is what most modern comedians say is the GOAT.
He was the greatest. He was. I don't think there's anybody better than him. I don't think
Chappelle.
He was the Michael Jordan of comedians.
Yeah, he was. Chappelle says it. Murphy says it. Rock says it. Not just to mention, black comedians. All comedians say it, that Richard Pryor, if it wasn't for Richard Pryor, then, comedy wouldn't be where it is now.
Look, right in Eddie Murphy's thing. He's just like, remember, he's just like, when he was talking about, he's like, well, I remember the time I was talking to Richard Pryor. I was telling about Bill Cosby. He's like, the people laugh. They like what you're saying. But tell him to have a coke in his mind. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, tell him I said it's my D.
I told him I said suck my dick.
That's right. and we can't forget, honorable mention. He didn't make my list, but Red Fox. We're talking about Richard Pryor.
You want to talk about another raunchy comedian? You can't even say he was before. They were like in tandem.
Yes,
they were in tandem. Because you remember, Red Fox was this well-established comedian before he even got on Sanford and Son.
Yes, he was. And Eddie Murphy.
You made all those records back in the 60s, and there's some funny shit.
Dude, fucking Eddie Murphy was so, inspired by those two guys. I mean, he had them in his movie Harlem Nights.
And Harlem Nights, he brought them.
He brought them on. That was like to me, that was like an homage to them and their influence because they were past their prime, and Eddie was kind of taking that and running with it. But dude, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, great selection, my guy.
You guys want to go watch a funny movie that was slipped under the radar because I believe it was probably, if not his last movie, one of his last movies before the Parkinson's really took over. For it was MS. I think it was MS that Richard Pryor had.
Yeah, it was MS. You're right.
Go watch Moving.
That I love Moving. I fucking love Moving.
Riot, dude. That was one of with King Kong Bundy is one of the movers.
Yes.
And his neighbor is friggin' Randy Quaid. Well, choke my chicken.
Yeah, dude. We need to watch. Okay.
That is one of my favorite fucking movies, man. That is hysterical. We have to do a watch long of Moving. Anybody who's never seen Moving, go watch Moving with Richard Pryor. That movie is just hysterical.
Dude, I'm writing that down. We'll come back to that.
Blake's seen it. Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey was the guy with the multiple personalities.
Yes.
And he's just like he shows up and the car's all fucked up, and he's like, and Richard Pryor's like, what happened? He's just like, well, it wasn't me, man. It was the Pope. And he's just
Dude,
like, I'm going to come in there. I'm going to kill all 29 of you motherfuckers.
we need to watch that shit. We need to watch that shit for real.
That is such a great movie, man. Oh
Yeah,
God, I
dude.
love moving. So,
So
Richard,
good.
the late great Richard Pryor. That's my number 4. What do you got for your number 4, Joe?
Great selection. It's funny how you can tell how great somebody is just by the mere mention of their name allows you to branch off into all this kind of crazy shit. But my number 4, man, you mentioned him before, Mr. Chris Farley.
Yep.
What can I say? The movies, SNL. He was on the brink of being like,
It's such
Adam
such a
Sandler.
short body of work.
Yeah, it is,
because he died so soon, and it was going to get better and better.
like the cameos in Billy Madison. He was the bus driver. Like he's like, everybody on the bus, great, grand. He's like, that Veronica Vaughn is one fine piece of ash. This is just off the top of my head. And like just the fact that, what, I look at him as kind of like Adam Sandler. Like Adam Sandler had the chance or given the opportunity to evolve, right? He went from comedy to like serious roles and everything like that. I feel like we were robbed from seeing him in a serious role. You know what I'm saying? Like he was not given the chance.
Yeah, he wasn't given a chance. I could have seen him in a serious role because a lot of these actors eventually did do a serious role. I mean, granted, The Razor's Edge with Bill Murray. Don't do serious. Yeah. But some guys, look at Robin Williams. He won the fucking Oscar, for Christ's sake. But we'll get there.
Yeah. And so for me with that, he was such a great talent, and he was, for the time that he was here, he gave us so much. Just imagine what he would have did if he had more time. So Chris Farley at my number 4, man. Good guy.
Yeah, Stefan, go watch Moving. You'll be happy you did.
Yes.
Kevin James wouldn't be nearly as big if Farley lived.
Well, fuck true. Kevin James. Fucking Kevin Paul James Blart. Fucking cop.
Well, Kevin James really didn't translate well into movies. I mean, I love King of Queens, but he didn't translate that well into films.
No, he's like a knockoff. He's kind of like your Wish version of like Chris Farley. Fuck that guy.
I understand bus around. That'll end your precious little field trip.
He's like, good, great, grand. He's all pissed off, red. He's like getting red in the face. Fucking love it.
And somebody mentioned this in the chat for my number 3. And this is near and dear to my heart growing up as a child of the 80s. Number 3 for me, no offense, the late, great Rodney Dangerfield.
I get no respect.
Get no respect.
I get no respect. That's right.
I mean, come on. I grew up on Rodney. I grew up on Easy Money. I grew up on Caddyshack. I grew up on all his Back to School. Shit,
fucking Ladybugs.
Ladybugs. What's the other movie? God, I'm drawing a blank on it. The one with Cindy Williams. Shit. Somebody get me away.
Yeah.
Somebody help me out in the chat. I'm drawing a complete fucking blank. Holy shit. Wally Sparks. Meet Wally Sparks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
And then there you go. In an evil role in Natural Born Killers as Juliette Lewis's mom. Father, rather.
That's right. You're right.
And you got to remember two things about Rodney Dangerfield. He didn't hit it big because if you watch documentaries about him, he was in his 40s when he finally hit
later in
big.
life. That's right.
If you watch documentaries on him, he used to go and sell aluminum siding during the week, and on the weekends is when he would do his stand up. And people were like, "Didn't I just see you in a comedy club? You're selling me siding now?" He's selling aluminum siding.
That's right.
And he was the most generous person because he opened up Dangerfields, and he brought so many comedians up through Dangerfields. Jerry Seinfeld, Jay Leno, Sam Kinison, all these people came because he gave them a shot.
Yep.
That a lot of these people you would never have heard of had it not been for Rodney Dangerfield. So not only was he great at what he did, but he would gave back to everybody.
That's amazing.
That's my number 3.
Caddyshack was, oh my God. It's so influential.
This place sucks.
In my life, man. His character was so just opposite of what you were used to seeing. and he didn't give a fuck. I mean, Rodney, forever. He didn't make my list, but I'm glad that you put him on yours, man.
Oh, I had to. He was part of my
Fuck.
youth.
Fuck,
The next three are a part of my youth. They're
Oh.
just three I grew up with. So
the top two were like no brainers, but my third one, he was somebody who I swear to God, he was one of the most funny. He was one of the most funniest individuals I've ever encountered. I loved his stand up. I loved his movies in a whole. Number three for me was Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac. Rest in peace, my friend. Or one of the original kings of comedy. He had so many roles in so many films over the years, like cameos. He was in House Party with like 3 or whatever. He was in Friday. You name he was in all kinds of movies. Mr. 3000. He was in that movie with Sam Jackson where they're trying to revive their singing group. I can't remember I can't remember the name of the movie, but just
what the hell was the name of that?
I remember he's like I'm so and so motherfucker. You the dog motherfucker. All that shit. Like, oh my god.
Was that the Fabulous Something or Other?
Yeah, something. I can't remember. He was in Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
He was in 11, 12, and I think he was he in 13? He might have been in 13. But talk about comedy. I remember seeing him stand up doing the Def Comedy Jam. Remember Def Comedy Jam? Mm-hmm. He's like, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. All that stuff.
He wasn't 13. Ocean's 13. He wasn't.
Yeah, Bernie Mac, man. He had the Bernie Mac show. That was I remember watching that show. He was taken too soon. Yeah, taken too soon. Bernie Mac, dude. My number 3. Rest in peace. For sure.
All right. So, and here we come to my number 2. And my number 2 is none other than the person we just did our review of, Uncle Buck, the late great John Candy.
Yes, sir.
Everything from Uncle Buck to Stripes to Splash to
Home Alone.
Shit, what else?
Polka.
No, he was not Home Alone. He was
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's right. Why am I drawing a blank on the one where he was he played the investigator? Oh God, why am I drawing a blank on it? Help me out, chat room. Where he played all the different parts as the investigator, and I'm drawing a fucking blank.
Oh, you're not talking about Fletch, are you?
No, not Fletch. He wasn't in Fletch.
No, he was not.
Look at that. Nice.
Oh yeah, we're gonna play this later on tonight.
Playing. Sorry, folks. Park's closed. Moose out front should have told you.
Oh, fucking
Vacation.
National Lampoons. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I mean, he is also Summer Rental.
Yeah. What was that movie that he was with Dan Aykroyd, Demi Moore? They went to like this. Was he in that movie? Shit.
No, I don't remember him being in that. That was the one with Demi Moore. Was that the one with John Cusack?
Was that it? Hold on.
Who's Harry Crumb? Thank you, Stefan. Who's Harry Crumb?
That movie.
That's
it.
Freaking movie. That's what I was trying to complete blank on. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one that I was talking about. Demi Moore and all that shit. Yes. No, is that right? No, that's not right.
I'm going to bring it up now because I'm just want to make sure I'm catching them all. But what a great comedian. He was great on SCTV. If you guys never watched SCTV back in the day, I used to watch SCTV. And who can forget him as Bartholomew in Spaceballs?
Oh, yeah. He was fucking Barf. That's right.
I'm Barf. I'm a Mog. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
The movie was nothing but trouble. It was Chevy Chase.
Nothing but trouble. Right.
Nothing but trouble. That's right.
It got panned, but it was funny as hell.
It's fucking great. Fuck it.
Canadian Bacon was good. That was his last film, I think, before he passed away.
That's right.
SCTV was he was so great in SCTV.
Cool Runnings. Eins, Vines, Drei. Cool
The
Runnings.
the Great Outdoors. He was great out the Great Outdoors.
Oh yeah, Dan Aykroyd. That's right. He was, of course, Home Alone. Fuck. I mean, the list is god damn. We're going
That's it.
down
You're
here.
mixing One Crazy Summer with Great Outdoors. Yeah, because One Crazy Summer was John Cusack with Demi Moore with with Bob Goldthwait.
Yes, you're right. And I was talking about Nothing But Trouble. That movie. That fucking movie. Stripes. God damn it. The Blues Brothers.
How's it going, Eisenhower?
That's right.
I'm trying to see what other ones I'm missing here. Oh, Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor.
Yes, you're right.
Like Armed and Dangerous. Oh God, Armed and Dangerous with Eugene Levy. Did you ever see Armed and Dangerous? Oh God, go back and watch Armed and Dangerous with Eugene Levy.
I can't say movie. That I have.
They're secure. They both lost their jobs. Eugene Levy is an attorney, and John Candy is a police officer, and they end up working for this like rinky-dink piece of shit like armed guard thing, which is run by the mob, and the head of the mob was Robert Loggia.
Oh shit.
Yeah, hey, go watch Armed and Dangerous. You want to, and it's got a young Meg Ryan who's hot as hell in it.
Oh, nowadays she looks like who knows what.
Yeah, go back and watch. And he's in the Blues Brothers. Yep, thanks, Stephen. Absolutely, he was the cop in the Blues Brothers. Orange Whip.
Fucking Armed and Dangerous. I see it.
Yeah, go check out Armed and Dangerous. You'll love Armed and Dangerous. It's hysterical.
Oh, I remember this.
Did you
I
see
remember
it?
This scene where John Candy's he's
dressed. He's dressed.
Yes.
Yeah, they're dressed in drag because they're hiding from the mob guys.
Yes, that's a good movie. Oh my gosh,
great movie. Announce. Well, I tried that. Why did it come up? Announcer of Rookie of the Year. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right. Rosen Gardner. Yeah, Rosen Gardner. That's right.
See what other ones are on here that I might have. And you could just such a deep dive. John Candy movies are just so fucking good. Yeah, Canadian. I was right. Yeah, Canadian Bacon was his last movie, released posthumously. Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings was good.
Cool Runnings.
See, I'm going to see if there's anything else that I missed that was great. Oh, She's Having a Baby. That's right. I forgot about that. He was in that, but he was uncredited. Summer Rental. I mentioned that. Volunteers. Tom Tuttle from Tacoma, Washington. Did you ever see Volunteers?
Yes.
Tom Tuttle, Tacoma, Washington. I forgot about that. That's another great movie. Splash. I love the scene in Splash where they go to meet the Swedish scientists, and they're playing the Swedes, and they look at him and they're speaking Swedish, and he goes, "Hey, Loring," and he's like, "Oh," they're like, "Ah." So Tom Hanks looks at him. He's like, "What?" He's like, "Well, you watch all these Swedish porn films. After a while, you start to learn some of the language." But meanwhile, like the dialogue other said, "Hey, babe, I got a 12-inch penis." They're like, "Oh, yeah,
okay."
If you guys haven't seen Splash, man, I could talk freaking John Candy all fucking night.
There we go.
Oh, and Stripes. As you may have noticed, I have a slight weight problem. No.
Shut up.
I swallow a lot of aggression along with a lot of pizzas.
We have to do. We're gonna do a watch along with Brett. We have to.
The Stripes watch along is a must. It's coming up. I did throw a poll. I threw a poll up on. Yeah, I know. Every time I did throw a poll up.
That's what she said.
I did throw a poll up on YouTube, and I threw it up in the Facebook group. So, and I put up there. I put Halloween for our watch along for this Tuesday. I put up Halloween 4, The Warriors, and Carrie. So I'll reveal what was the overwhelming winner, which is duh. So I'll reveal it later. So
John Wick 4, something about the number 4. I don't know why it's popular right now. I don't know.
Oh, was he born on Halloween? I didn't know his birthday was Halloween. Somebody just put that in there. Was it Stefan? Yeah. I did not know that. Let me bring it up. I did not know his birthday was on Halloween. So John Candy, my number 2. What do you got, Joe, for your number 2?
You know what? I'm glad because my number 2 was John Candy too.
Yeah, he was born on October 31st, 1950. I did not know his birthday was on Halloween.
Can you see
Wow.
this?
I'll think of that.
John Candy.
Nice.
For
I will
my
be
number
thinking
two.
of that every Halloween. I'll be thinking that it's John Candy's birthday now. I did not know that.
I have a feeling our number ones might be the same, my friend.
Let's see. So my number one, aside from growing up at Rodney Dangerfield and John Candy, this guy I grew up with, discovered in 1975 when I was a kid, watching it every Saturday night with my family at 11:30 on Channel 4. I fell in love with this guy, fell in love with his movies, and he was taken away from us way too soon. And it's the late great John Belushi.
That's not my number one.
That's my number one, John Belushi. I love John Belushi, and he was Chris Farley's idol, and he went out just like him.
Good old mouth.
He always said he was going to go out like Belushi. He idolized Belushi. When I was a kid, we used to watch Saturday Night Live every weekend. We loved that. Tonight, my band, for those that don't know, I play guitar in a cover band. Tonight, we were playing Soul Man and Hey Bartender from the Blues Brothers, because we played that as part of our band. So I remember the day I heard he died. He died on my wife's birthday, March 5th, 1982. So I tell my wife when I first started dating, her birthday is March 5th. She's like, you always remember my birthday? I said, it's easy to remember. It's the day John Belushi died.
That's crazy.
She's like, that's how you remember my birthday? I said, yeah, it's the day John Belushi died.
Wow.
And same thing, like Chris Farley. In that short amount of time, he gave us so much. He gave us Animal House. He gave us 1941, Continental Divide, Neighbors. It was all in such a short amount of time.
Yep.
And then he was gone.
That's such an epic choice. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know much about him that I do for my number one, but because I think it's because of
it's been gone so long.
Yeah. I just think it's just a matter of like just generations, different time frames, time periods when you were born. But I can totally see how, he's your number one. I can see it.
Because he was my generation's Chris Farley.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I wish I could elaborate. I just remember him from he was Mouth. Is it Mouth from Animal House, or what was it? What was his character's name?
Who? Belushi?
Yeah.
Belushi was
he's like, what am I? A pimple, and he does the whole iconic scene.
Yeah. Bluto.
What was his name?
Bluto.
Bluto. That's right.
Bluto.
That's right. Why do I keep saying Mouth? I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. That's from fucking Goonies.
Mr. Blutarski. Remember the scene where they're all in front of the dean?
Yes.
And he goes, it's like, Mr. Blutarski, 0.0.
Yes, right.
Was this, and the part where they're towards the end, and the one kid Flanders' car got all beat up.
Yeah.
And he's like, it could, don't worry about it. He's like, I can fix this, and then they were just talking, and he's just like, look, he was just like, he's hitting himself in the head with a bottle, and he's breaking bottles. He's drinking all this other stupid shit. Oh no, I'm thinking it's the scene after that when they all go to the student council.
Yes. Yes.
And before that, they're like, he's like, remember, he stands up and he's giving the whole like pep speech.
Yeah.
He's like, we're not going to lay down. He's just like, when the goings get tough, the tough get going. He's like, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? And they're like, Germans? He's like, he's on a roll. Leave him.
Leave him alone. Don't fuck with him. Leave him alone. That's right.
And remember that they show up to pledge it, and he's taking a piss in the front lawn.
Yes.
And he's like, come on in, grab a beer, don't cost nothing. And he's like pissing on their leg, and they're like shaking their leg the whole time.
like that to me. That's how
food fight. I mean,
food fight.
Iconic shit in that movie. That movie made him a superstar. And fun fact: so 1978, John Belushi. I don't think it's ever been repeated. John Belushi, probably the only actor in history to have a #1 TV show, a #1 movie, and a #1 album all at the same time. Could be wrong, but that was a distinctive time because he had Saturday Night Live, which was #1, Animal House was #1, and the Blues Brothers album was #1. So he had all three in spades. So for those that weren't born, and I was the child of that time, you guys don't realize how big John Belushi was at the time. He was huge, and then he was taken, and it's been So you figure it's 41 years since he's been gone now.
That is crazy. And you can probably see where my number one came from compared to yours, because I think it's just time. It's just time frame.
It's a time frame, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your number one?
But no, great number one, man. My number one, plain, short, and simple. He was small, but he was big in terms of where he fit into all of our hearts. Robin Williams. Robin fucking Williams.
Yeah. What he was, admittedly, I grew up with Robin Williams, watching Mork and Mindy and all his movies, and it was tough to leave him off this list. Believe me, it was. And it's not that I disliked him by no means, but it's just I had to go. It was a personal list.
Of course, of course. I remember him being such a big part of my childhood. He was the genie from Aladdin. Miss Doubtfire, The Birdcage, Good Will Hunting, that's one of my personal favorite movies of all time. His movies, I mean, he got into. There was a movie called Insomnia, if I'm not mistaken.
That was the one. Was that the one where he was? Or was that the one? I might be getting it crossed. Was that the
crazy.
One where it was like above the Antarctica, and he couldn't sleep because it was always light out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's it. That's it. What else he did? I mean, his comedy, his stand-up was amazing. He was good friends with Richard Pryor, somebody who was on your list. You know, so if Richard Pryor gives this guy the nod, you know, that means that he was funny.
Well, you got to remember, it was him, Steve Martin. Was it Martin Short? Who were the guys that started Comedy Relief? And Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal and Whoopi. That's right.
And Whoopi. They started Comic Relief, where they raised tons of money back in the day for people. So
that's right. I mean, Dead Poet Society, Good Morning Vietnam, The Fisher King.
Good. I mean, he won the Oscar for Good Will Hunting, but one of my favorite Robin Williams movies is Good Morning Vietnam. That was a great movie.
Oh, so good. Patch Adams. I mean,
Patch Adams. He was good. He was great in Patch Adams. He was good in Awakenings with De Niro.
Yes, that's right. I mean, in terms of quality as a comedian, as an actor, as being somebody that touched everybody, you know, from the heart, I miss that guy to this day. I see a film of his, I miss him instantly. So fucking Robin Williams for my number one. I got to see him one time. Well, actually 2 times. Let me take that back. One time I got to see Robin Williams. I was stationed in Seattle, Washington. I was in a bus in Seattle, and we were driving down, and we came to a red light. And who was walking on the crosswalk as we were stopped? Fucking
really?
Robin Williams. Yes, dude. I saw him walking across the street, and we were all like, dude, that's fucking Robin Williams. We all started yelling, Robin. And he, like, as he was walking, he looked at us. He saw that we were wearing our Navy gear. He was like, wait, he was waving at us, like, just as he walked by. That's the first time I saw him. But the second time he came in, did a USO tour. And I got to see Robin Williams when he came over, because he loved the troops. He loved the military, and he was always doing USO tours. Him, Kid Rock, Sheryl Crow. They always did that shit.
Another one he was good in. Yep.
Yeah, he always did that. So,
fun fact, if you guys don't know this, because as my wife always refers to me, that's why she's glad I did this podcast. She's like, because she always called me the bowl of useless knowledge. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, the tie to my favorite and your favorite, John Belushi. John Belushi died March 5th of 1982. He died at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles. Who was one of the last people to see him alive, who was partying in that chateau that night?
Who?
Robin Williams.
What?
Robin Williams was there. De Niro was there too.
No shit.
They were partying with him that night before he died in Chateau Marmont.
I didn't know that.
Belushi was so out of control that Robin Williams actually left, and sort of made him like think twice about doing so much fucking shit.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I've never heard this story ever.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
Robert De Niro.
I don't remember if De Niro was at the chateau. I remember. I know when I saw I read the book. If you read go read the book called Wired. It's the story of John Belushi, written by
Yeah.
is it Robert Woodward, the guy that Woodward and Bernstein, the ones that uncovered the Watergate scandal.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that wrote the book on John Belushi, and I know he was partying that night with De Niro. He partied with Robert Williams. I think Robert Williams was actually at the chateau at some point, but I'm not sure if De Niro was there, but I know he partied with him that night.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And side note, I just goes to show you, if you read the book. Did you ever hear of Gordon Lightfoot?
No.
Canadian singer, the song Sundown, you bet. There's a song called Sundown, and it's written about Gordon Lightfoot's ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend is the one that gave the lethal speedball to John Belushi. They killed him, and she went to jail for it.
No shit. I did not know that.
So now you guys know, and on that note, now you know why my wife calls me the bowl of completely useless knowledge.
No, that's amazing. I just found out that Gordon Lightfoot is still alive, by the way.
And yeah, he's still performing.
Wow.
Yeah, and you got that right too, Stephanie. Ironically, De Niro and Williams are in Awakens together. Yep. Because they were all hard. They all partied hard in the late 70s and early 80s, because that was the age of Coke, man. Everybody was doing that shit, and it was plentiful.
That's crazy.
Real good book. Go read I forget the name of it. It's a book on the original Saturday Night Live, the first 5 years, and I think the second cast too with Eddie Murphy. There's a book, I forget the name of who wrote it, but it's a real good book, because it tells you the crazy shit that went on every Saturday night to put that show on. They would put it this way, it was a sea of blow every week.
Oh shit.
Big time. A sea of fucking cocaine to put that show on every week. Yep.
You getting me all like, we don't
do
that.
I call myself the homie collector. My wife said, you just call yourself the bowl of useless knowledge, because she's like, you know all this knowledge, but it'll get you nowhere. I said, yeah, I know, unfortunately. Yeah, Wired. Go watch. There's a movie Wired, and what's his name is plays Belushi in it. Oh God, what the hell's his name? He played in The Commish.
The Commish.
Oh shit, what the fuck's his name? Oh shit, I can't think of his name. He played Belushi in the movie. Help me out in the chat. And it's not a great movie. It was panned by the critics. It actually really cost him his career in the beginning until the Commish picked it up. I have to look it up because it's going to drive me crazy. It's not a great movie. It's Michael Chiklis played
Oh
him.
yeah, Baldy.
And it got to the point where like Dan Aykroyd actually had him blacklisted.
Really?
For a while. Yeah, because he didn't want the movie to come out. Yeah, interesting shit, to say the least.
You kind of shocked me with that information. That's why I'm like, dude, that's crazy. But yeah, my number one, Robin Williams.
I know we got on a tangent. That's what happens with this podcast, man.
I love it.
We're almost like 2.5 hours.
I was like, excited. I was like, oh, that's fucking crazy.
And there's only 2 of the 3-headed monster, and we're at 2.5 hours already. Holy crap!
That's
so
crazy.
That is our top 5 comedians we wish were still with us.
Yes, by far.
Thanks for watching our latest top 5 from an episode of That Horror Movie Podcast. We do That Horror Movie Podcast every Sunday night live at 8 p.m. on this channel. And every week we feature a top 5 that we all do together and share live with everybody in the chat. So if you have any ideas, by all means, drop them in the comments below. Like this video, helps everybody find this channel. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. And we will see you on Sunday nights.